Sir.
Okay, good morning, children. So, in continuation with our chapter Work, Power and Energy, today I will be doing a few problems before winding up this chapter. So, I am starting with these two problems. The problems look very big, but the solutions are very simple here. The only thing is we need to apply our principle of conservation of energy everywhere in our problems in this section. Okay, so let us start with the problems. Let me read out the problem here. A stone of mass 500 grams, so he has given the mass of the stone, is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity of 15 meters per second. So here the velocity is 15 meters per second. The velocity is 15 meters per second. Calculate the potential energy at the greatest height. So when you throw a stone up the ground, it reaches. So what will happen? When you are throwing the stone will be having maximum kinetic energy. So when it is moving away from the ground or when it is moving up, that kinetic energy will get converted to potential energy. And when it reaches that maximum height, all the kinetic energy which was there with the stone when it was thrown will get converted to potential energy at the greatest height. Okay, calculate the potential energy at the greatest height, kinetic energy on reaching the ground, and the total energy at the halfway point. The first one is you should calculate potential energy, then at the greatest height, that is the condition. Then you should calculate the kinetic energy on reaching the ground. So when it falls back, we need to calculate the kinetic energy and the total energy at the halfway point. And I hope you can understand. If you just apply the principle of conservation of energy, it's a very simple problem. Let us take down the data first. So what is the data we have? We have mass of the body. M is equal to 500 gram, that is 0.5 kg. Then what is what? We got velocity of the body, which it is thrown. Velocity of body. How much is given? It is 15 meter per second square. 15 meter per second. So these are the data I have given. Now we have given only the velocity and we have given the mass. And g is given as, let us take it as 10 meter per second square. So that is the g we have. Okay, with all this data, so g is given. Let us see whether we can use it or not. Okay, let us start with the problem now. Okay, now he has given just the velocity and mass. So with what we can first we'll solve the second question in the problem. So we have kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. This is the formula we have solved. That half into what is that? 0.5, that is mass, into what is v square? 15 square. So here you get, if you solve this one, you get 56.25 joule as the energy. Now, this is the kinetic energy with which the ball is thrown up. And as you throw the ball up, the kinetic energy will get converted to potential energy. As you throw the ball up, the kinetic energy will get converted to potential energy. And when it reaches the maximum height, the whole of kinetic energy is converted to potential energy. So before it changes its direction and comes back. And what is the second question? The kinetic energy on reaching the ground. The same thing I am telling once again. What energy you have thrown the stone, the same energy will be converted to potential energy at maximum height, and the same energy will be reconverted back into kinetic energy before it reaches the earth. Therefore, at any point of the path, the energy will be the same, that is 56.25 joules. So here, what is the third question we have? We have the total energy at halfway point. So the total energy of the halfway point also will be 56.25 joules. So this is what in principle with the conservation of energy. Therefore, if you calculate one form of energy, the total energy at that point. So at ground, on the ground, when you are throwing the stone, the potential energy will be 0, while the kinetic energy will be maximum. When you throw the stone or when you throw the body up, all this kinetic energy will be converted to potential energy as it is moving up. So when it reaches the maximum point, all the kinetic energy which you have thrown the stone or that body will be converted into potential energy at maximum height. So now let us assume it is coming back to the ground. At the halfway point, the potential energy will be converted to kinetic energy. Half of the potential energy will be converted to kinetic energy, while the remaining half will be the potential energy. Therefore, the total energy will be once again 56.25 joules. And the first question, where the kinetic energy just before reaching the ground, also will be 56.25 joules. So, if you calculate one form of energy, that will be the same energy at every point of path of the body. Okay, so this is what you should understand the concept from this problem. Now let us go to the next problem here. A metal ball of mass 2 kg, he has given the mass as 2 kg, is allowed to fall freely from a height of 5 meter above the ground. Calculate A. Potential energy at rest, kinetic energy just before it hits the ground. What happens to mechanical energy after it hits the ground and comes to rest? Now we'll solve the, so once again the same concept or the same principle. He has given height here, so let me take down the data. Here mass m is equal to 2 kg he has given. Then what is the height he has given? Height he has given h is 5 meter and g is given as 10 meter per second square. So what is the first question? Potential. P is nothing but the potential energy at rest. When it is at rest at the maximum height, he is asking us what will be the potential energy. So let me calculate the potential energy first. That potential energy is, the formula is mgh, and we have 2 into 10 into 5. That is 100 joule. So 100 joule will be the potential energy at maximum point. So what is the second question? Kinetic energy just before it hits the ground. Once again the same thing. At maximum height, the potential energy is maximum while the kinetic energy is 0. When you allow it to fall freely, this potential energy will get converted to kinetic energy, and just before hitting the ground, the body will be possessing maximum kinetic energy, and that kinetic energy will be nothing but once again it will be 100 joule. So whatever the potential energy will be there at the maximum height, the same energy will get converted to kinetic energy just before hitting the ground. Therefore, the kinetic energy just before hitting the ground will be 100 joule. See the third question. What happens to the mechanical energy after it hits the ground? If you remember, while just winding up the energy part, I discussed about degradation of energy, or the energy which can't be used. Now, this stone will come and hit, this ball will come and hit the ground. When it hits the ground, all that mechanical energy is converted to sound and heat energies. Okay, so when it hits the ground, a form of third sound will be produced. So that third sound is from the mechanical energy which it possesses just before hitting the ground. That is sound energy. And when it comes and hits the ground, it imparts a bit of energy to the surrounding sand particles or mud particles, which will be in the form of heat. That heat energy is also got from the mechanical energy. Therefore, I hope you understood the concept of both these problems. So let me go to the third problem now. Okay. Now see this problem. We have a diagram here where a skier is running from A, coming to B, running down to B and jumping. So here the height of the point A is 75 meters, while the height of point B is 15 meters. So what is he asking us? He is asking us to calculate the gravitational potential energy of the skier between A and B, because we have different heights here. Therefore, the gravitational potential energies will be different. So what is asking us? He is asking us to calculate the difference in potential energies, gravitational potential energies between A and B. That is the first question. Second question is, what he says, if this gravitational potential energy is, so the gravitational potential, that energy is converted, see the question here, if 75% of the gravitational potential energy becomes kinetic energy at B, calculate the speed at which the skier arrives at B. So what he says, the potential, we have potential energy here. As it's running down, that potential energy will get converted to kinetic energy. So what he says, this potential energy has been converted, 75% of this potential energy will get converted to kinetic energy. He is asking us to calculate the speed of the skier here. So first, let us calculate the change in gravitational potential energy. Very simple, change in GPE, I'll write it as gravitational potential energy. So what is the weight here? Weight is W is equal to 60 kgf, and G he has given it as G is equal to 10 meter per second square. So I'll convert this 60 into 10. This is 600 Newton. Sorry, it is 600 Newton. So I have converted kgf into Newton. So what else he has given? He has given the difference in height. So H1 is 75 meter, while H2 is 15 meter. So let me write the change in GP is equal to mgh1 minus mgh2. Therefore, what is mgh1 here? H1 is 75 meters and H2 is 15 meters. I'll substitute the same thing here. That is 600 into G into G is 10, 75 minus 600 into 50 into 10 into 15. So I take 600 common outside here. So I will be left with 75 minus 50. So 600 into 60, that is 36, followed by 1, 2, that is 3.6 into 10 to the power of 4 joules. So this is the change. This is the change in potential energy when it is running from here to here. Now we have calculated the first part, that is the change in gravitational potential energy of the skier. This is the change in gravitational potential energy of the skier. And the second question, what he says, if 75% means it is 0.75 divided by 100 into 3.65 into 10 to the power of 4. If you calculate this one, then you will get this energy should be equal to, half mv square. So let me just calculate the thing here. So 75% of 3.65 into, it will become 270 or 2.7 into 10 to the power of 4 joule is equal to half mv square. Then if I substitute, I will get V as 30 meter per second. You can calculate, it's a simple calculation. What you do, you just multiply, cross multiply 2.7 into 2 and divide it by m, and root it by, square root it by V square. You get V square is equal to something like, you get something like 900. Therefore V will be 30 meter per second square. So what you need to understand here, okay, calculation part apart. So what we need to understand here, he is running from 75 meter to 50 meter. There will be a change in potential energy, and if that change in potential energy is converted, 75% of that change in potential energy is converted to kinetic energy, he is asking us to calculate the speed of the person. So the speed of the person, we are getting it as 30 meter per second square. So once again I will explain here. First I have calculated the change in gravitational potential energy. That I got it as 3.6 into 10 to the power of 4 joule. How I did it? mgh minus mgh2. So here the potential energy will be different. Here the potential energy will be different. So this change, that potential energy, what he acquired will be if that potential, 75% of that potential energy is converted to kinetic energy. He is asking us to calculate the speed of the scale. So what I have done, I have 0.75 into, sorry, it is 75 divided by 100 into 3.65 I have done, and when you calculate, you will get V is equal to 30 meter per second square, 30 meter per second. Okay, so this is how you should do the problem. So I have done a few numericals. I have a few more numericals, like 3-4 numericals. When you come back to the class, I will once again do it. So I am requesting all of you to once again work on this chapter. This is a very important chapter where you will be getting lot of marks for your exam. Something like 10 marks you will be getting from this chapter alone. When you add up the other two chapters, something like 16 to 17 marks you will be getting from mechanics part. That is force, work power energy, and machines. So machines, when you come back, I will do that chapter. So probably the next chapter I will be doing is calorimetry. So which is once again a very important chapter. So I want all of you, I have put all the text pages for those who don't have textbooks. So please go through those pages. If you have any doubts, please text me without any hesitation. So I clear all those doubts. Any doubts regarding derivations, any doubts regarding the concepts, please do text me. So I clear those doubts. So I want you to not waste your valuable time, so that we keep in track with our syllabuses and we can prepare well for our exams. Thank you one and all. Have a nice day.